Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Uncle B. I am back. We are talking John Jones versus Stipe. Oh man, guys. So it's no secret that I am a John Jones fan, big John Jones fan. I think he's the greatest fighter to have ever done it, greatest light heavyweight. Now he's about to become the greatest heavyweight to have ever done it. Now, John Jones have had two fights in the heavyweight division. So he fought, obviously, let's go to our ranking. He fought Syria Khan and he made it easy. Easy. Now, one thing I think a lot of people are not realizing, John Jones is extremely smart, and he has realized that his fight versus Francis may never happen. And there's a possibility that people will always talk about that fight and say that that's the one fight that John Jones would have possibly have lost. And I don't think John Jones wants that to haunt him for the rest of his life. And I don't think he wants to constantly keep hearing that. So John Jones has a plan. And I think the plan starts here. Now, Stipe was able to beat Francis. John Jones wants to do exactly what he did to Cyril to Stipe. He wants to make this fight as easy as possible, finish it as quickly as possible. Now, is he able to do that? I personally think he is able to do it. Now, I've watched Stipe's fights. I rewatched his fights just to kind of see where he could possibly beat Jones. I don't see Stipe being physically stronger than Jones, taking Jones down and possibly submitting Stipe. I mean, if Daniel Cormier couldn't do it, and I think Daniel Cormier's wrestling should be better, is better than Stipe, despite the fact, and they fought before. I honestly think this fight will go exactly as Cyril Khan's fight went. It might not be as quickly, but it definitely won't be difficult for Jones to beat Stipe. And I think Jones wants to make it so easy that when people think about how he beat Stipe, there is absolutely no doubt that if he had fought Francis, it would have been just as easy. Although I think with Francis it would have been slightly more difficult because he couldn't just rush in. Yes, he could possibly do that because getting Francis into a clinch and getting Francis onto the ground makes the fight much easier for John Jones. Now, guys, I don't want to drag this. I don't want to, I don't want to drag this. So this fight is happening on November 11th, UFC 295. Bro, look, I should have been speaking about this after October. We should be focusing on the October fight card. But I'm so excited about Jones and this fight because I can just see this fight literally ending in the first minute to the second minute of the first round and Jones just shocking everybody. Jones wants to be known as the greatest to have ever done it. Too many people are still bringing up his past and everything else that he has done in his past. I mean, I was on Twitter and I saw this girl who was talking about how she learned everything about the UFC because she wants, every time she goes out on a date, she wants to be able to show guys that she knows better about UFC than most guys. And she kind of mocked John Jones and called him a piece of this, a piece of that, purely because of everything that has happened in his private life. I don't like looking at the guy's private life. That's their personal business. I only focus on what they do in the cage. And personally, I believe when it comes to the cage, this guy is God. I've watched Stipe's fights left and right. I personally do not see where Stipe is going to beat Jones. I don't see him beating him in the clinch. I don't see him beating him in the grappling, wrestling. I don't see him beating him in the stand-up. I think John Jones is literally going to make this an easy fight. He's going to either take Stipe down and ground and pound him, and that's where the fight is going to end, or is going to catch Stipe either in a standing guillotine. Yes, guys, a standing guillotine and choke Stipe out, or possibly knock Stipe out in that first round, the first minute or second minute of the first round. I don't think this fight is gonna go any further. I don't think it's gonna take that long. Now, what happens after that? Well, number one contender is Cyril Gane. Do we want to see Cyril Gane versus John Jones again? I don't think Dana White is gonna make that fight. Sergio Pavlovich is possibly the one that is going to take this fight next. But if he does, but I don't think Jones wants this fight either. I think this might be one of the toughest fights that Jones is going to face in this heavyweight division. So that's one of the fights that I'm actually very interested in. Sergey, Tom Espinal, and Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov, Sergey Spivak. those are fights that I think if Jones decides to continue competing in the heavyweight division, those are fights that are going to show us that Jones is either God or there are fighters out there that can, put Jones into a lot of trouble. I think Sergey, Tom, Curtis, and Alex are the toughest fight Jones is going to face in his whole career. I honestly believe Stipe is about to be embarrassed. And Jones wants to make this statement because Stipe had beaten Francis. And if he can make it look so easy, all of us are going to be confessing, or at least assuming, that had Francis stayed in the USA and fought Jones, Jones would have beaten him without a problem. I personally think Jones would have beaten Francis. He would have shot for that takedown, taken Francis down, kept him down there, and possibly finished him with the ground and pound, or Francis would have given his back, and then Jones would have just submitted Francis. We will never know. We can only assume. But Jones versus Stipe, I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. I think Stipe said a lot in his interviews, like a lot of people are going to lose money, counting me out, blah, blah, blah. I honestly don't see it happening. I think a lot of people are going to lose money if they bet on Stipe. I just don't see where Stipe beats Jones. I wouldn't even be surprised if Stipe doesn't show up to the fight. That's honestly my opinion. Anyone that has a different opinion on Jon Jones versus Stipe, please comment below and tell me how you think Stipe beats Jones. On the ground, wrestling, clinch, knockout. I just don't see it happening. Jones has proven that he has a chin. If you watch his fight versus DC, DC has nasty uppercuts in the clinch, and Jones took most of those. Jones has the reach over Stipe. He's going to play the outside game. I doubt he's even going to do that. I think he's going to pull a serial gun. He's going to rush in there. He's going to take Stipe down. He's going to want to prove that his wrestling is tough and is strong. And I think it's going to be more of a statement to Francis that, hey, if you want to take a fight against me, this is exactly what I'm going to do to you. This is how easy I'm going to make it. This is somebody that beat you. Although you came back and beat him, but this is what I did to him, and this is how easy I made it. I don't know what you guys think, but I personally think Jones is going to make this look like bacon. You guys comment below, let me know what your opinion are. Obviously, the closer we get to the fights and the interviews, I like analyzing the fighters' mentality, how the fighters are handling the interviews, how they responded to questions. That also gives you an indication on where the fighter's mindset is. The same way with Israel Adesanya when he was fighting Sean Strickland, I knew his head was not in that fight. But even then, I still didn't think he was going to lose that fight because Sean Strickland just hasn't proven himself enough for anybody to have doubted that Israel Adesanya was going to win that fight. But then, obviously, you guys know my opinion when it comes to Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya. I think he dropped that fight on purpose. He wanted a rematch because he makes more money with rematches. But when it comes to Stipe versus Jones, I just don't think Jones wants to play those games. Jones wants to be known as the greatest. He doesn't want a loss in his record, and he's going to walk in there, and I think it's going to make this fight seem very, very, very easy. Very easy. My question to you guys is this before I leave y'all. Jones versus Adesanya, how do you think that fight would have ended now that we're here? Exactly. Jones is goated, and I think Stipe, this is his retirement fight. Jones is about to make mincemeat out of him, man. That's a factor. I ain't changing my opinion. If you guys have a different opinion, comment below. Yeah, that's one here. Yeah, you're not gonna stay up too late. I think the fights are usually 4, 5 a.m. I think we'll be in bed within 2 minutes of the first round. All right, guys. Well, tell me your opinions below. What y'all guys think. I'm going to be doing the breakdown of Shevchenko versus that was a nasty one. So, give me a second. Grosso versus Shevchenko 2, I'll give you guys that breakdown, what my thought of that fight was. I know I should have done this earlier. I'm going to do it after this video obviously is uploaded.